Welcome to Valley Viewpoint. I'm Roger Johnson. My guests are Gary and Tami Benton and Joe Young. Each of them are involved with promoting the upcoming author's appearance of this book, The China Study, coming to our valley May 12 and 13. Gary and Tami, you are involved with a production promotion company called Benton Health Productions, or Promotions.
That's right.
And how did that begin?
I think it began long ago with our own health journeys. We've struggled with low energy and allergies to animals and pollen and foods and just various chronic health issues that we've tried to figure out solutions for. And with a lot of reading and a lot of studying, we've found some things that work for us, and we've found some really good information that we really feel like we're being called to share.
I had the impression, Gary, and pardon me if I had this impression, when you called me up about Colin Campbell, the author of this book, coming to town, I thought, well, you and Tami put this company together just so that you could, sell tickets and work on getting him here and making it financially possible for him to be here. I mean, this author must be in tremendous demand around the world. He's an internationally known health promoter.
Yes.
And certainly this book must have caused him to have invitations all over the world. And Joe, you're an advocate. You're a volunteer advocate for this appearance of Colin Campbell here in this valley.
Absolutely. This is incredible. This is an opportunity that anyone living in the Walla Valley,
all creatures great and small.
That's right, needs to take advantage of this opportunity. This is the premier epidemiologist in the world.
Did you know about him before he wrote this book? I mean, had you heard about this fellow? I mean, according to this book, he had millions and millions of dollars of grants and NIH studies. Am I correct? I'm not exaggerating.
No, that's correct. He was appointed director of the China Study in 1983. And that was a joint study between Cornell University, Oxford University, and the China Academy of Preventive Medicine. And it's the largest to this date study of a comparison, the correlation between diet, nutrition, and disease that's ever been done. And his work was kind of paralleling what's happening in the Western Hemisphere, the Western diet, as opposed to what's happening in a more plant-based diet like in large areas of Asia still today.
Could that be why China was ideal back in those early days in the 80s, in the sense that it was just starting to move and maybe be influenced by Western aspects? In other words, that study that he did in China could not have been done as effectively in the United States.
No way.
No way. So we have a study here that's this book contains.
There are over 8,000 statistical references that Dr. Campbell has placed in this book that relate to disease and nutrition. And his study in China related to, I think, something like 70-some different, what we would call counties in China, where people have lived for generations and have never moved out of the area, and their diet almost exclusively 100% plant-based. So he was able to go into an area, you couldn't find something like that here in the United States, and compare their health and their diet to our health and our diet. And it is awesome.
Enlightening.
China Study book, you can get it in paperback as well as hard copy, but it will blow your mind. It really will.
Now, Gary and Tami, when did you learn about this book? And now I'm learning here that your company's been around a lot longer than I thought. But who was the person that said, you got to read this book for you?
Well, it was actually a Christmas present for Gary. I had heard the book was coming out. We had heard of the study and were very interested in it, and so I ordered it before it was actually out in print, and that was a Christmas present.
She knows what I like to read. And, there was a book that came out a few years before that, maybe 3 years before this, called Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. And that book, I think, changed my life more than any other book. improve my health by the knowledge I gained from that. And in that book, he talks quite a bit about the China study. I think he called it the China Project in the book.
At that point, huh?
In his book, yeah.
And I do notice, since you mentioned this author, that he is also mentioned here, the China study gives critical life-saving nutritional information for every health seeker in America.
Yeah.
But it is much more. Dr. Campbell's expose of the research and medical establishment makes this book a fascinating read, and one that could change the future for all of us. That's the one that you were talking about, and he's saying, read this book.
Dr.
He's recommending
Furman, yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're having him as our speaker
Yeah.
here in this valley, live.
Yeah.
Colin Campbell here. I'd like to talk about right now when he's going to be here and how do we hear him.
Okay, he'll be here May 12, Saturday, at the Village Church, the College Place Village Church, at 3 p.m. And the next day, Sunday, May 13, Balloon Stampede Day.
And Mother's Day.
And Mother's Day. He will be here. He'll be at the Walla Valley Academy Auditorium at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. He's going to be in Portland on Friday, and so it worked out very well for him to come here that weekend. And it'll be a good opportunity to bring your mother. And
if you want your mother here for a longer amount of Mother's Days,
yes.
and you want to enjoy your mother for a longer time as
Right,
well,
yes.
You know, cancer is hitting younger and younger people.
Yes.
It's quite shocking.
Yes.
The cancer is advancing, it seems like, in a younger demographic all the time with our diet, isn't that
Yes.
what,
Yes.
what you're
That's
finding?
what the
It's a
China
big
study
factor,
showed.
yeah.
Joe, since we've talked about diet, you did an experiment on yourself based upon what this book is revealing. Basically, your experiment. You're a chemist.
I didn't really do an
You're a
experiment.
biologist, and you started to do what you were learning on yourself.
Plus, 2 years ago, I got involved in the CHIP program. And this is really where I heard about Dr. Campbell and the China study, because Dr. Deal, in that CHIP program,
He mentions
referred
it.
to several of the studies in there as backup material for some of the data that he was presenting. And so that's where I heard about this study. But the book impressed me. I did teach science for a number of years on the high school level. And reading the book, it's an easy read. It's not over your head. You know, the average lay person can read this book and glean all the facts that are in there.
Okay.
But it's what, in my mind, I said to myself, all right, Joe, you're not stupid. Look what this guy is showing. He's not proving, but he's giving ample evidence. This is the way to a better diet.
And we're going to hear about that evidence right after the break.
All righty.
Blue Mountain News and Valley Viewpoint are provided as a community service to the Walla Walla Valley. Support these local programs by sending your tax-deductible contribution to Blue Mountain Television, P.O. Box 205, College Place, Washington 99324, or call 509-529-9149.
I'm talking with Gary and Tami Benton of Benton Health Promotions and Joe Young about this book and about the author coming to the Walla Walla Valley. And Gary, I want to make sure that our viewers know when and where and how they access Dr. Colin Campbell when he's here speaking.
On May 12, on Sabbath, there will be at 3 p.m. at the College Place Village Church. He will be speaking.
And that's open to the public.
That's open to the public. It's free. We will be taking up an offering because it costs thousands of dollars for the speaker's fee and the other costs. On Sunday, May 13, he will be speaking at the Walla Walla Valley Academy Auditorium at 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m. and the tickets for that will be $15 at the door. You can go online to see. There are a few other options and lower prices in advance for that.
All right, well, thank you for making sure that's clear, that, and these parts are parts 1, 2, and 3, and they're, it's not going to be overlapped only other than some continuity between the two, but there will be some, and I don't even know what he's like as a speaker. Do you? Is he a scientist that is going to blow us away with stuff that we can't understand, Joe? Do you think? We don't know, but his book is understandable. That's what you just said before the break.
Right. I don't think he's, I think he will be very fascinating to listen to. Yeah. Not only that, he's going to be very truthful with the audience.
Well,
and you're going to come out of that meeting with a whole different mindset. I'm convinced of that.
And if you've read the book, you know he's very candid.
Yes.
And so if he's as candid as speaker as he is in print, it will be an exciting lecture or lectures.
Yes.
And Joe, we were talking about your experiment as a chemist and biologist, and you did an experiment on yourself. Talk to us about what the lab results were when you started.
Well, I've had a background of very unhealthy blood for a good segment of my life, and primarily in the areas of cholesterol and triglycerides. And the program doesn't allow time to really go into this, but going clear back into the late 1970s, my triglycerides started to sky. About 1982, my triglycerides were over 3,000. I was sent to all kinds of health institutes and all types of lab work done, trying to figure out what to do, how to get it down. But it was very hard to get it down under 1,000, even with medication. And then in 2005, I signed up with CHIP, heard about this China study, and in 30 days on the CHIP program, which mirrors the China study information, I entered in with a triglyceride level of 686, which is they consider lethal, and in 30 days it was 251, a drop of 60 some percent, 63%, something like that. And it all related to diet and exercise, two things that anybody could do. And all of those years prior, say about 18 years prior to that moment, I had never had a medical person or a medical clinic, and I was out of state in several very well-known facilities. No one ever gave me the guidelines on how to bring this under control. Amazing. To me, it's miraculous, and yet it isn't miraculous. It's good common sense. Read the China study. It'll get you on the right. It'll get you on the right path to a healthful living, and make life more enjoyable. That's what we want. If you don't have your health,
that's right,
nothing else matters.
Why live if it's not very enjoyable?
Health, there's not anything else in the world. I don't care whether it's family, grandchildren, bank account, vacation. It doesn't matter if you don't have your health. If you have your health, you've got everything.
You can enjoy the
that's
rest,
a trite cliche, but it's the truth.
How did you first hear that he was available to speak? What were the word-of-mouth experiences that you remember? How did you know that it's worth trying to get him as a speaker? Huh?
Boy, we were traveling, and we were in a hotel one weekend, and we just started brainstorming about how we could share some of what we've learned, some of the really valuable information. We have read literally hundreds of health books over the last few years, and among the ones that we've read, the China study and Eat to Live that I mentioned before by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, those two books have gone to the top of our chart and stayed there for over 2 years. And often, we'll read a book and we're excited about it, but after a year, the memory fades.
Something else goes in. But not this, huh?
That is super.
And Joel's going to come here next year, huh?
We hope to bring...
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
No kidding.
We hope to bring Joel Fuhrman, the author of Eat to Live.
To us.
Okay.
So I read that book. That is...
Advanced warning here. Yeah. This is tremendous. Yeah. Well, in just the few seconds that we have left, again, let's review how people can put on their calendars the author of this book. They can hear him live.
Okay. May 12th at the College Place Village let's see.
Yeah, College
Village
Place Village
Seventh
Church,
Adventist
if
Church,
you
yes.
wish to say it that way.
He will be here, and at 3 o'clock, and on Sunday at the Walla Valley Auditorium at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And you can go to bentonhealthpromotions.com for more information. We really hope you will come.
Thank
bring
you.
Mom.
And bring your mother on Mother's Day. Thank you, Gary and Tami and Joe, for sharing with us today about this upcoming speaker. And thank you for joining us on Valley Viewpoint. I'm Roger Johnson.